G'day folks, Adam Simmons here for Tiny Real Estate. I'm shooting this video to run you through everything you need to know about tiny house plans. It's a pretty big subject and a lot of people get overwhelmed, myself included when I started out, with the prospect of having to design your own house. So we want to show you basically what you need to know to make it a lot easier for yourself. So the first question is, what are they? It's a pretty obvious one. We all know what plans are, but tiny house plans are basically no different. They're just building plans that we use to build our tiny house from. They can be very similar to house plans. There's not a lot of difference really. So why do we need them? Well, without them you just run the risk of some serious costly mistakes, and it's just not worth it. You know, when you're spending in excess of probably $20,000, potentially a lot more, it's just really not worth the risk. And for how much they are these days, it's just good insurance up front to make sure that the whole process just runs a whole lot smoother. So what types of plans do we have? Well, there's basically three types. There's Google Sketchup drawings, which you can download directly from a file, and then you can edit them and do what you got to do with them. There's basic plans, which usually come as a PDF file on your computer, and you can scroll through them and print what you need to. And then there's our custom design plans, which are basically created from scratch. So this is an example of our Freedom tiny house in Google Sketchup. This is a downloadable file off our website, and you can basically do anything with it. So you can zoom in, you can change windows, doors, sizes, the internal layout. You can make it your own. You can do anything with it. The foundation's there for you. That particular design is the tiny house that I now live in, and it was built off of this drawing exactly as it is. So you can basically just buy that and build that tiny house straight away if you wanted to, or you can change it. It's totally up to you. That's one option. And custom plans, that's another example of something that we offer, where we work with you one-on-one and we go through the entire design process from start to finish, and we create something that you love, you absolutely love. Nothing's out of reach with this option. We can do anything basically. So with the Google SketchUp plans, the timber framing has been laid out for you. All you've really got to do is measure and build, which you can measure in the program itself. We've shown the internal layout of our particular tiny house, the way we built it. You can obviously do it however you wish. The windows, doors and skylights have also been put into the framing for you, so it saves you having to go and work all that out, the sizes and openings and structural members around them. And the design can easily be matched to any suitable tiny house trailer, although this one has been specifically matched to one of our trailers, but you can match it with one that you like. The lofts are in place, and the great thing is the design's been built and tested before in real life, and it's standing the test of time. Basic plans, we don't offer basic plans just yet, but there are some out there on the internet. There's some good ones and there's some bad ones, like anything. You just need to watch out and make sure that everything's included, especially all the measurements that you're going to need. So it's a good job just to have a good look through these and check any reviews if there's any reviews from other people about these. Yeah, they vary so much, it's hard to put a bit of a standard on them, and they range in price quite a lot as well. And then custom design plans. So we offer these. There's a fixed agreed price up front. It includes everything that you want and need. You're allowed to make changes along the way as long as they're within the scope of the initial brief. And then it includes everything. So it's essentially like building plans you'd get for a normal house. Our top of the range model also includes structural engineering, which is great for peace of mind. You know that it's going to stand the test of time. And we also go above and beyond and give you a material list. So we basically count all the timber you're going to need, sheets of plywood, insulation, all that kind of stuff. And it's listed out for you, so you haven't actually got to go and count it yourself. And detailed framing plans. So all the framing is shown, so you can actually just look at the drawing. You can see how long your timber needs to be, and you can just cut it straight off that. An electrical plan, and the trailer designs included as well. So it's usually 10 plus pages of drawings. So what to avoid when selecting plans? There's a few things you need to look out for as well. There's some not so good ones out there. The first one is probably the units of measurement. Make sure they actually are metric if you're in Australia, and they are imperial if you're in America. You don't want to be stuck with plans you can't even read or understand. Make sure that you can get some after-sales support. Probably get in contact with them before buying just to make sure that someone's there to give you a hand. And try not to make your decision purely based on cost, because like most things, you generally get what you pay for. So it's a good investment up front to make your whole tiny house build a lot easier. So then that leads us to how much should you spend, and it's really a personal thing. It really depends on your budget and what you believe is good value. There is a huge range. I've seen tiny house plans from $50 for very, very basic ones. And our custom plans are upwards of $1,000. But when you compare that to a custom house design, like a normal 4x2, you could be spending upwards of $3,000 for plans. So when you're spending half that for your tiny house and you know you're going to get exactly what you want, I think it's a good investment. So here's our Google SketchUp with a different elevation. Different elevation again from the back. And this is some examples of a recent customer's tiny house with our custom plans. That's the loft. He went for 2 lofts because he has kids. And that's the framing. There's been a couple of measurements removed from this just for example purposes. But basically we include all the measurements you need to measure every single piece of timber and make it super easy. It's the roof plan. The electrical plan where your lights and switches and power points are going to go. So where do you get your tiny house plans from? Well, you can obviously go on the internet and do a search, but we offer our freedom model on our website. There's links below in the article where you can get that from. And our custom plans, there's also a link below in the article where you can go and get them from. So thanks for watching, guys. If you've got any questions, feel free to send me an email or a message through the website, and I'll speak to you soon.